And last but not least, Sahera Dirbas. She's an independent filmmaker, freelance producer, and supervisor. She's produced news and documentaries for international TV channels such as the BBC and RAI, and she's also a researcher of Palestinian oral history. Before becoming a filmmaker, she actually studied chemical engineering at Hind College.
One about fingerprint and is about Hind al-Husseini. In between, I will skip. Two films I'm gonna show, very short. It's part of films. One is Susan Fingerprints. It's actually about women from Role of Women, 1967. And then I will pass to Hind al-Husseini. And her role is very important in 1948. We will see, and then I will continue to speak about Hind al-Husseini especially.
سنة 67 وقف، صار الاحتلال والناس اتشتتت. مفيدة عبد المجيد طلعت على الأردن. سنة 67 وقف، صار الاحتلال والناس اتشتتت. مفيدة عبد المجيد طلعت على الأردن، وكثير من الناس هون هاجروا. برضه زوجي ما حبش إنه هذا بقي هو هون، لكن بدانا على الكويت أنا والأولاد. عند أخوي كان هناك. زوجي في هذا الوقت اعتقل من قبل السلطات الإسرائيلية. لما طلع من السجن هو طلبني، قبلها ما بقدرش. مفيدة عبد المجيد اللي كانت رئيسة طلعت برية البلد. الكلية تسكرت. إن شاء الله بتنبسطوا فيها القهوة. إحنا الأعضاء اللي بدنا ندور مين ضل من الأعضاء، نبحث، مش كلهم موجودين. فاللي كانوا موجودين شدينا حالنا وقلنا بدنا نروح نطل على الجمعية شو صار فيها. رحنا واللي هي من هو بكلية، ولا إشي، لا أثاث ولا مواد مطبخ ولا إشي بتاتا. فكان لزاما علينا إن نبدأ من الصفر. وفعلا استأجرنا بيت بال68 أعضاء الهيئة الإدارية لجمعية دار اليتيم العربي. ليلى تايه، بشرى بسطامي، شفيقة حبيب، رقية بوشناق، آمنة تايه، نعيمة حبيب، سارة بعباع، سوزان عواد. كان يعني المبنى طبعا وعلى قده، نقدرش ناخذ أكثر طلاب، يعني أكثر من 40 ما بنقدر ناخذ. من سن 6 ل 12 سنة كبداية. ليش ركزنا على هدول الشباب؟ كلهم كانوا من الخطوط الأمامية. إيش الخطوط الأمامية؟ يمكن تعرفوهاش أنتوا. الخطوط الأمامية اللي هي بين إسرائيل وبيننا. فعلى الخط هذا، الخط الأخضر أو الملاصق له أو القريب منه، كان في صعوبة كتير. في ناس خسرت أراضيها مثلا، كلها راحت بالاحتلال. إحنا ركزنا على الذكور لأنه كانت جمعية اليتيمات، فإحنا ما بدنا نناطح الناس، إحنا بنعمل إشي سبيشال إلنا. وبعدين لجأنا لل NGOs، جمعيات الأجنبية اللي بدأت تظهر، فلجأنا إلهم. قسم إغاثة الكاثوليكية، قسم تاني، فتجاوب معنا، يجيبوا لنا الشراشف، القرن، كل شيء بدنا، أساس كامل. التمويل كان طبعا اعتماد على الاشتراكات، اشتراكات الأعضاء، وأهم إشي السعي من نفس الأعضاء إنهم يجمعوا تبرعات، أعضاء الهيئة الإدارية وبعض الهيئة العامة اللي بيستطيعوا. فكنا نركز الشغل في شهر رمضان، يعني نجند أنفسنا من الصبح كل مدينة بمدينتها، في طول كرم، نابلس. بعد ما نخلص كمان نروح على عمان، وكان إلنا في عمان يعني أشخاص معينين قنعانين في الجمعية كتير. فتصوري أول ما نوصل عندهم يكون في ظرف مكتوب محطوط حصة الأيتام. وكمان كذلك في نابلس الحقيقة أم الخير. والله كل هالتجار اللي كويسين كانوا كتير يتجاوبوا معانا لا نوصل عند الخليل كمان. بس لما طورنا وامتدينا في عملنا، مش كتير يعني منظم مرتب زي ما لازم يكون. ولذلك هذا ما دفعنا انه ما بصيرش نضلنا احنا هيك، لازم ان نسعى في ان نبني مبنى خاص في جمعية دار اليتيم يكون يحقق الاحتياجات الضرورية اللازمة للأيتام. السلام عليكم. بس المبنى هذا احنا بنيناه بجهودنا، يعني جمعنا تبرعات من المحسنين. حبايبي هذول اولادي الله يخليهم يا رب. بسنوات عديدة كل مرة نغطي التكاليف وبعدين شوي نوفر مشان المبنى لحد ما تمكنا إن نبني. وكان أسماء الهيئة الإدارية أثناء تشييد هذا المبنى، يعني بعد ما صار المبنى هذا وإشي وصل 120 يتيم موجود في الجمعية. في أوائل الثمانينات شعرنا إنه بعض الأيتام صعب يكونوا موجودين في الجمعية. ليش؟ لأنه في عندهم آثار سلبية، ما نقدرش نخليهم في الجمعية لأنهم هن بشكلوا أثر سلبي على بقية الطلاب. فشو نعمل فيهم؟ شو يصير فيهم؟ لجأت للجمعيات الأجنبية وصلت يعني عدة ناس عطيتهم هذا. آخر إشي الإغاثة الكاثوليكية تجاوبت معي. تصوري جهزوا لنا تدريب مرشدين اجتماعيين نفسيين، كان خلاصته انه يدربوا لنا طاقم من المرشدين الاجتماعيين والنفسيين اللي متخرجين من الجامعة اوريدي. فدربنا حوالي 20 واحد، انا تدربت معاهم. هلا احنا شو وظيفتنا بعد التدريب هذا؟ بدنا نختار، مش ممكن نوظفهم كلهم، بس احنا يعني دربنا اكثر فيما لو اضطرت الظروف لحدا انه يترك في حدا غيره.
كنت اشتغل بمركز هيا لساني بعمان، فاجيت زرتها، فبتعرف ان انا يعني شو مكتبه مركز هيا. فاجينا على المكتبه وكانت المكتبه غرفه فاضيه. طبعا بفضل الله بفضل سوزان عواد افتتحنا المكتبة وأسسناها. كانت الداعم الوحيد اللي سوزان عواد بالهيئة الإدارية اللي كانت معاها.
صرنا على قد إمكانياتنا نعطي منح دراسية، بديناها ب2 على جامعة بيرزيت. هي كانت الوحيدة وقتها هناك الجامعة، جامعة بيرزيت. ثاني سنة نعطي أكثر، ثالث سنة تخرج مجموعة مش بطالة كمان.
I saw a strange picture. Several little children, يعني from 2 up to 11 years maybe or 12 years, standing beside the walls. I couldn't see without me asking, what are you doing here? Don't you see bullets are coming? Go home. And I was on a hurry, I want to arrive. I walked maybe 2 steps and then I came back. Why are you standing? Go home, I tell you. Then this elderly, this 11-year-old, 10 or 12, I don't know, yeah, we have no homes. We are the Dariasin children, we are pushed, we are the remnants, we were collected by the Jews and put into a movable truck instead of gravel, and they were running the streets of the Jewish Jerusalem and pouring us every now and then and laughing at us, and then they poured us at the Damascus Gate. So I became dizzy. I went to the meeting. I put up my hand. I said to them, excuse me, but before you start with the agenda, I want to tell you before there is no time. I saw this, and that. So Anwar Khatib said, but sorry, Ms. Husseini, we are going to discuss the problem as a whole. We have so many refugees, we don't know how to deal with them, and I said to them, no, all right. I had the idea, because I had these 2 rooms. I said to them, you continue with your meeting, but I want to go and see what I can do with the children. And these 2 rooms were in the Suq al-Husr. You know, now in the old city there is a hostel for the German Lutheran church in one of these 2 rooms of the hostel. Down the basement, and in front of it is a bit of courtyard. So I went to the nurse. Her name was Hanne Karshe. I said to her, Hanne, I want to reopen the nursing because of so and so what I have been seeing. So I took her, we opened the place, we tried to furnish it with these reddish carpet, the hand weaving. And so the second day, I went collecting, and one of the social welfare department, the young men, was called Adnan Tamimi. He said to me, if you like, I can come with you. I said, of course I like, come. And we started collecting. We collected in that first day and the second day, or within that week, around 55, as far as I remember, of the children. People started screaming, do you have so much money? Go and feed those who are hungry. I said to them, I don't have much money. I have a little bit of money. I had at that time in my pocket 138 or 40 Palestinian pounds. And I'm going to live with the children as long as we can.
بعد أسبوع أسبوعين أنا ما بتذكر إلا هو جاي ست هند رحمة الله عليها، ولا هي بتقول أعطوني بنات دارسين، أنا بدي أفتح مدرسة لبنات دارسين. أجا ابن عمتي صار يعطيها بأسماء. أخوي اللي هرب معي أكبر مني، وأخوي الثاني اللي كان مع مرته أكبر مني ما أخذتوش ست هند. هذول الكبار أنا باخدهم مش. أخذتني أنا وأخوتي الصغار. حطونا في سوق الحصر. وجات ست هند رحمة الله عليها بتذكر حممتنا ولبستنا. أول واحدة تحمم بالبنات أنا وأخوتي. وهي تحمم فينا تقول لي احكي لي قصتك. كيف؟ قلت لها انقتلت أمي وانقتل أبوي وانقتلوا أخوتي 2 وسيدي وعمي 6 في دار واحدة. فستين دي كتير حبتني وهيك حزنت علي. المهم حطتنا 60 في المدرسة، بعدين جابونا على هاي المدرسة.
The headmistress of the Ma'muniya school, which is now near us, was Miss Basima Faris. She came running to me. She said, Hind, do you like me to come and help you? I said to her, please, come. Then we started to need helps. We used to go together. to the old city shopping centers and say to the merchants, come, see and give. That's how we have started. That's how it grew. And then one day we wanted more. And we said, let us go and see this acting mayor of Jerusalem. We went, he was stationed in the Awqaf building near the mosque. We went together, Miss Paris and myself. And it was so many people. The doorkeeper knew us from our work. We went to this man to talk to him about giving us, advising us what to do. And so many merchants or people going to ask for help were there. So he made us a way like this, pushing people in order to make us enter. When we entered, we were upstairs there. He opened the door for us. We found him standing up and speaking. I never forget that day. Me and Basme listening, and he was speaking. He did not notice us. He was telling them, look here, if you want me to give you license, you send a sack of potatoes to Dar al-Tufayl. Where is this Dar al-Tufayl? They said to him. He said to them, in Sur al-Husar, in these two basement rooms. You send rice, you send so, you send so. They were all responding.
Even before you asked.
Before we asked, then he looked like this. He saw us standing at the door. He said, what can I do for you? I said to him, what we wanted is fulfilled. Thank you very much. Then it was very difficult for me to go every day and cross the Herod's Gate. I took a room in Danae, in the convent of the Danae in the old city. Every day I used to go in the morning to my children. One day I went to the children and I found them sitting. I can never forget the sight. Making a circle, the little ones in the middle and sitting and crying and beating themselves. They becoming hysteric. Why do you make like this? What is the matter with you? They said, yes, we are very much afraid. At night we hear the shooting, and the shooting is nearly coming near us. So I said to them, don't worry. Now I go and fetch my things and come and sleep with you. I went to Danae and started quickly packing some things to take with me, and I took a small bag. And I was going down. Luckily, the Notre Mère, the superior mother, met me. Where are you going, Hind? I said to her, I'm going to my children. So and so happened, and I can't leave them sleep alone. I want to go and sleep with them. She said, no, you don't go and sleep with them. She was very kind, really. Mère Godelaine was her name. I never forget her. She said to me, come with me. I go around with you, and you pick the place you like, and I bring the children to it. On that staircase, there was a door at the side called City Maryam. It's a courtyard and several rooms surrounding. I said to her, this would be good for us. She said, yes, you'll have it. Go and bring your children. I quickly left my bag, and they prepared, emptied the rooms. And of course, in the meantime, we started to have some mattresses, some covers, some this and that, and everything was dear to us. So I went there. I said to them, Yalla children, we are going to go to a very nice place where I am living. And you should see how we were passing through the old city streets and lanes. Some of the children carrying things, and the very little ones, they all wanted to hold my hand. I cannot hold it. I was with a long, pleated, gathered skirt. I said to them, yes, you have my skirt. And we passed the old city streets. People were sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, the same with us. Till we arrived at Danae, and there we settled. We continued there for 45 days. When things settled a little bit, we went back to our 2 rooms in the old city. By the time we grabbed some other rooms. And then before the end of that year, 1948, the ceasefire took place, and I went quickly, repaired our house. It was damaged, and Mr. Alami helped us with some money to repair it, and so we started to settle there. Down we made it a nursery, 2 rooms nursery, and the rest of the house for a bit older children, and then all the older children lived with me up, and we started having more children. And then we grabbed the house of my mother's grandfather's house, and there we had it to start with, classrooms down, and up we used it as dormitories. Till we were able to, in place of the stables, old people used to have stables for their horses, for their carriages. The stables were not good. We pulled them, and we erected the school, where we have the school now.
Switch on the light, please. I just want to mention two things about Deir Yassin massacre, because this is part of the film. It's not explained. It was the 9th of April, 1948. It was done by Lehi and Stern Jewish gangs. And they killed around 120 people in the village, and there is the ex Prime Minister Menachem Begin, that also he is from this group. He wrote that we couldn't imagine that after Deir Yassin massacre, almost 90% of the Palestinians left. They were fled or left or uprooted Palestine, because also in that time they use the radio, and they make a fake news. Instead of 120, 250, and there was a raping, and there was other things. Palestinians, they don't speak about the raping. I tried to dig, and it was there is, it's happened, but Deir Yassin people now they don't want to speak about it. Anyway, Hind al-Husseini. I mean, these 2 films that you saw, the first one, she's not famous, so it's important to also to document Palestinian women not famous. And Hind al-Husseini I showed because for me it was always really this woman. She's great. But how she could manage after 1948 with, full of Jerusalem full of refugees, no sources for anything, poverty, and she collect all of them, how she could continue, Now, I found the paper that I did is from 1948 about her until 1953, how she managed and how she did with the welfare. With the children, and relying on 3 reports, yearly reports that she did in 49 and 50, 51, and by searching a lot, I could reach a report, that first report that she did. It's called the Experience of Training Institution Staff, and it was in 1953, and she spoke about it for a conference in Beirut in 1953 called Experts of Professional Training in Middle East. And in this, with these sources and also some newspapers, Jordanian, Palestinian, I found that she did 3 things. First, with the children, she made for them a schedule, a daily schedule. She make them groups, and I have to look here, sorry, to remember. Come on. There we are. Okay. She made a group for cleaning from the children themselves. I mean, and then a group for washing and ironing, also for the kitchen and the garden, and also for receiving delegations from the groups, from the children. She did these groups, and then each group there was a president from the children themselves who was observing and taking care of all of these things. Now, she did that, and I found out, I think, and even today in the school of Dar al-Tifl, they don't know why it's called Dar al-Tifl and not Dar al-Tifl. It means the house or the home of the child, and why it's not called the home of the orphans, shelter. And I found out that she wanted them to feel belonging and to feel that they having their house. That's why she gave them all these things to do. To feel that they are part of the place, and to give them confidence and to work together, you know. So this is one of the things that I found about her. The second thing, it's important, it's the teachers. She said that the teachers, at the beginning, they came volunteer. Then the teachers, she had to pay for them, you know, salary. And it was between 10 to 25 Palestinian pound to pay. And she said we didn't have money, but so she had to keep just teachers who just finished high school, not more than high school, to pay them a little. But on the other hand, she was training them also during the teaching. Every week, she was giving them to read books about psychology, about teaching, and they were sitting and discussing every week. Then the teachers themselves, they had the role, and they were forced also to know the background and the situation, social situation of each child. And there is also, of course, of the Deir Yassin children, the orphans, about what's happened. And she said so many times she was finding them sitting in circles and crying and together and speaking. And she was always coming, trying to let them to talk about it, and so on. So the teachers there, the women teachers, they had a role more just not to be a teacher. They had to be also a welfare or social worker by practicing, you know, with the time. Then she did something else. She did also like a small center for sewing and for preparing clothes for the children. And the same place, she used it for 2 things. One, to teach also, it's a training for the others, so women can have what to study, also what to work after. And the same also, it was women, they were making embroidery, And she made a contract with the shops and in the old city with to trade and to sell them, even if it was not bringing a lot of money. And she was doing also fundraising, dinners, and so and so. But she was saying people that didn't have money, so it was very little money to have. So so I hope my curiosity I could pass it to you, and that's it. I don't know the time. How is it? Okay.
Thank you.